Ghana's Cocoa Marketing Board, Cocobod, reported a 2.3 billion cedi profit in 2022-2023, its first after 6 years of losses, aided by debt restructuring. This profit came as Ghana restructured $30 billion in debt to implement a $3 billion IMF program. Key factors included reduced financing costs, higher global cocoa prices, increased bean sales, currency stability, and improved cost management. Despite the profit, Cocobod faces short-term liquidity challenges amidst rising cocoa prices due to poor harvest. Patrick Baah Abankwa, a financial analyst and investment advisor, joins me from Accra, Ghana. Thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure to be on your show.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about this. How significant is this debt restructuring to Cocobod's return to profitability, and how, can this even be sustained? Is it sustainable?
I think the debt restructuring is actually a critical step in the turnaround of event for Cocobod for a number of reasons. I think the first reason is that a lower total debt amount translates into less money spent on interest payments. And when that happens, it frees significant resources that can be allocated towards one. They have enough funds to be able to provide better access to fertilizer, training, and disease control measures to boost cocoa production for their farmers. The second thing is that it also gives them enough revenue or funds to invest in improved transportation network within the cocoa growing regions, which will also have a direct impact on efficient movement of the beans that they actually plant for them to be able to export for revenue. Again, they'll have enough funds to commit some quota into research into new cocoa varieties that are more disease resistant and higher yielding abilities. Then again, you can also look at a lower debt level, making Cocobod more attractive to borrowers in future and potentially helping them secure a better interest rate on future loans when the need be. I think that it also helps them to reduce vulnerability. A smaller debt burden for me makes Cocobod less prone to financial shocks over the period of time. And once that is curtailed, unforeseen circumstances like global economic downturn will not have a direct impact and a harsh impact on their operations, as we saw for the last 6 years with the losses that they have made.
Right. Now, despite this profit, what financial challenges do you think Cocobod, still faces and should be able to probably avoid?
I think that the challenges that they face, even though we are looking at issues related to sustainability and having future cocoa price go up, they need to have at the back of their minds that if you restructure a loan, it doesn't mean that the loan will not be paid. What it basically means is that the time for you to pay the loan has been extended. And that means that if you don't put your house in order by ensuring the efficiency of production that you have at the moment, generate enough revenue to be able to pay future loans, then when they fall due, that's where Cocobod will begin to struggle again. And once Cocobod struggles, it has direct impact on the country, because Ghana as a country usually depend on the loan that we get through Cocobod to stabilize our economy. So if you don't consider efficiency, you don't consider direct investment that will impact on the production that you do, then eventually, even when the debts are due, you will not be able to meet them, and that will lead to another issue of default with their production. So it is not like we are out of the woods. It's just a matter of extending the duration that we need to make commitment to our creditors. And I think that that's how Cocobod should have in terms of their mindset going forward, and not to think that because they are back on profitability, things are stabilized as we speak.
Well, we're seeing fluctuation in the price of Cocobod, in the price of cocoa, globally. Now, for Cocobod, let's talk about, probably how it can hedge against these fluctuations, because they are here with us and we do not know for how long they will continue.
I think that Cocobod has two main strategies that they can use to hedge the fluctuations, as you rightly said. And in finance, they can either go for the future contract, which allows Cocobod to lock in the selling price for a specific quantity of cocoa beans at a predetermined future date. And when they are able to do that, it protects their revenue stream in terms of a price drop. So they can go for that option of future contract. However, they can also go for the options contract, which will give Cocobod the right and not the obligation to sell cocoa beans at a predetermined price within a specified time frame. When they're able to go for this option by way of price fluctuation strategy, it allows Cocobod to capitalize on potential price increases while offering some protection against a decline in the price if that should happen. So these are, for me, the two finance options that they can use, either the future or the options. And in either ways, there are some risks that they have to be able to manage so that it doesn't affect their overall production.
You know, beyond Cocobod, we know that Ghana faces challenges with its cocoa production. How well do you think this is being handled, especially looking at the role that the miners are playing and a lot of things happening right there? Talk to us. Do you think enough is being done to address this particular issue in Ghana?
I don't think that we have done enough as a country to address some of these challenges. I think that there are still opportunities out there for us to diversify our revenue as a country, even for Cocobod. I think one of the areas that Cocobod can consider in diversifying their income stream is to promote what I call the agritourism, where they leverage on Ghana's cocoa heritage to attract tourists and generate enough income. Ghana is a hub for tourism. So if you're able to create a hub where people come in to learn about tourism relating to the cocoa production, that will be able to help you to generate some revenue over the period of time. I think we should also look at investing in downstream processing. And downstream processing basically means that adding value to the processing of the cocoa. And this is something that, whilst I was young, I've heard government upon government talking about it. What is the strategy for promoting local consumption of chocolate in this country? We hear about it whenever it's a cocoa season and there's some kind of campaign. Once people in the country do not consume these things, it doesn't encourage production. So once we put a strategy to encourage people to consume this local chocolate because we are adding value to the cocoa beans, it helps to increase production. Again, I think we should also look at issues relating like alternative crops. We should encourage our farmers to cultivate other profitable crops to reduce the over-reliance on cocoa, because cocoa has been something that we've overused over the period of time. So whenever there's a shortfall in production or price of the cocoa beans go down, it impacts on the overall revenue of the country. So I think that these are the basic things that Cocobod themselves, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Agriculture, should be able to look at and put a strategy to sustain the growth that we are seeing, and that will have direct impact on the Ghana's economy growing than what we are seeing at the moment.
Patrick Baah Abankwa, thank you so much for the thoughts you've shared with us today on Business Edge.
Thank you for having me once again on the show.